Everyone is talking about the meeting. You are aware of Gala's surprising ghost story. How the biggest night in fashion goes. When celebrities arrive, they show off their cutting-edge fashion, and we all analyze. Days later, everyone looks, but this year, everyone's attention was drawn to one specific absence. Greater focus than some of the Real. Rachel Zegler, an attendee who has been steadily moving up the Hollywood ladder. With big-budget movies and that Disney, there was no princess remake to be discovered. The machine of speculation entered. Social media went into overdrive right away. Find out where Rachel is trending right now. When users checked and refreshed their feeds, scans of hashtags and giddy photos for any hint of her coming led many to believe she would arrive late in style. For dramatic effect, but the night passed without a single. What makes Zegler's sighting so special? Especially fascinating, isn't that? She didn't attend a nice party, which is the timing. See how the Zegler has been moving. There have been some rough PR waters lately. Remarks regarding Snow White that were made. Her interviewing technique has been characterized by, whether fair or not, she's heavily memed. Turned become a sort of online punching bag for a particular imagined generation brand. The Met Gala's performative activism constituted a fantastic chance for some image rehabilitation. Refresh the story with an eye-catching appearance, plus a few well-handled news conferences. Instead, there was stillness and no teaser images. No preparation reels, nothing, and silence is rare in the PR industry. Lacking a plan, it wasn't until after her absence became a topic of conversation that the explanation seemed to surface. Rachel was working hard on Evita's rehearsals, the renowned West End of London. Her entire focus was required for production, traveling across the Atlantic for it seems hard to have only one evening. Logical at first glance, right? A committed actress who puts her art first over a lavish celebration, but the internet did not agree with the timing of the announcement. Felt more reactionary than intended, falling just late enough to give the impression that damage control at the West End and Broadway. Stars consistently maintained equilibrium, high-profile appearances during rehearsals, and Hathaway juggled lay when it mattered. Press miserables during filming. Cynthia Erivo, an Interstellar, kept demanding stage time while hitting red carpets in movie theaters. Skepticism extended beyond practical considerations. Even though the topic was pattern recognition, this is not the first instance of Zegler appeared to back off when the attention became unpleasant. Recalling Shazam 2, she was noticeably missing during the promotional campaign. Just after her snowfall from key press, White's remark caused uproar. Became completely silent for weeks prior to resurfacing with thoughtfully chosen. Many witnesses were satisfied with this encounter. Galanos didn't seem to be using the same tactic, using distinct packaging for the story. Swiftly changed from a committed actress to too busy for something more than fashion. Rachel Zegler is fleeing from the public scrutiny, and to be honest, who could? The Met Gala isn't just any gala, so blame her. There is a magnifying glass on the red carpet. Expressiveness. Each pose serves as material for heated takes and meanings for someone already observing the collective. Walking those steps with a side eye might indicate requesting additional examination. Screenshots and witty remarks. Consider the headlines that may appear if she had been present when Rachel Zegler showed up at Met Gala. Appears to believe she's superior to the first Met Gala tick. The designers of talk had most likely already created the theme for their reaction videos. This year essentially pleaded for exaggerated and dramatic interpretations. Ideal location for the internet mocking machine to go into overdrive. What is especially cruel about? According to Zegler, she has attained that regrettable online state where she filters almost everything she does. From a critical perspective, her soundbite factories are created from interviews. For ironic remarks on her red carpet, parody trends are created by appearances at some point. The fear of becoming another meme must be wearing you out. Other famous people dealing with their own PR. Nevertheless, problems appeared. Kylie Jenner, Sydney's recent off-brand controversy. Sweeney handling comments on recent. The Zegler selected distance for the project. And that decision says a lot about her current relationship status with the public's opinion of the Met Gala, been a location where reputations are maybe burnt or burnished. One of her team members determined that the latter's risk greatly exceeded the. Let's examine the former's potential. Here's another viewpoint. What if this wasn't only a Zegler escaping the limelight? Industry rumors point to something more. This absence may be the result of calculated, might be included in a purposeful image, turn with precision plan to change her from a contentious Disney, serious stage actress to princess. When film celebrity turns into PR 101, troublesome retreat to the solemnity of theater. Eva Perón plays more than one part. It is based on historical importance, political intricacy, and verbal requests that indicate artistic. Playing this role with dedication sends a straightforward statement. I'm not that snarky. No longer a ginzy mouthpiece, I've changed. For many years, the theater has been the road to atonement for Hollywood actresses, attempting to restore Anne's credibility. Even Lindsay Hathaway and Scarlett Johansson. During her image rehabilitation Lohan phase, everyone faced the stage when screens turned into battlefields at the right moment. Seems almost too ideal to be true. Coincidental obtained the most fashionable, visibility-driven night to be observed in practice spaces under script for fluorescent lights in hand. Personified commitment isn't just regarding avoiding unfavorable attention, it's about selecting a particular type of favorable attention, but sincerity is the current currency, and that's where this tactic might not work when your absence from the largest movie in Hollywood. The vanity event seems eerily appropriate. With a watch me change the story, begins to feel artificial instead then. According to an industry expert, Organic asserted that the Evita practice sessions are serving as a real-time picture. Rehabilitation is more than simply a creative effort but strategic penance. The consequences of this deliberate retreat could, however, things have not gone as planned. It is not neutral to miss the Met Gala. Travel and business circles behind the scenarios that some designers were said to have frustrated following hesitant fittings that been asked by PR execs. Why wasn't she able to create a virtual? Seems similar to what Emma Stone posted some years ago. The Met was pregnant, but it's not. Fashion is all about flashbulbs, where connections inside the sector are, where aristocratic groups become more tightly knit or expand, followed by the A-list component. Not all members of Hollywood's top echelons is a fan of Zegler. Some people have quietly questioned her quick ascent to fame in light of her degree of experience, while her Snow White comments were discovered by others exhaust in the opinion of one stylist. Rumors that several celebrities were truly, I'm glad I'm not sitting next to her yet. Even nonetheless, her absence sparked a discussion. She became a topic of conversation, specifically because she was absent, particularly when other actresses are dealing with their own disputes. Arrived prepared to confront the music in the days leading up to the event. The social media accounts of Gala Zegler experienced a discernible change. The postings that are humorous and occasionally chaotic described her previous online persona. Rather, followers were carefully chosen rehearsal clips, quotations on the integrity of the arts and subdued color schemes, and the change in tone was no longer subtle, it was surgical. Ironic retweets or winking snark from Generation Z, simply thoughtfully built. Seriousness commenters fast discovered that Rachel was taking over the account as a single, especially harsh tweet. Observed, I get the same vibes from this as when a famous person makes a mess and then abruptly begins sharing quotations from Maya Angelou is friendly at the same time. Press reports praising her started to appear. Brave new chapter and went back to, according to one profile, artistic roots. Likened her Evita preparations to those of a Lady Gaga's metamorphosis during A Star Born, as though Broadway could delete all of those viral interview moments. Even speculations of a Vogue were circulated. Profile in progress. It might be time to align with an appearance at the Met Gala when Zegler allegedly took out the component centered on young ladies changing. Perhaps the celebrity was completely shelved. Without her as the visual anchor on, the story lost those famous steps. its base, Zegler's crew suddenly shows up, to always be in complete damage control mode. Following each brief interview, a well-planned rehearsal photo seeks to give a specific example of how Rachel is mature, misinterpreted, and refocusing her efforts toward superiority in art. But the damage is a fundamental issue in the strategy. Control is only effective when the victim admits that there was harm in the first position. For a person who has never openly discussed the dispute, this pivot appears less around her like development and more akin to avoiding. The pattern is significantly more obvious when you examine her background and strategic disappearances. When she received negative feedback, Snow White's comments became extremely heated. She didn't explain or interact with, exiled only to later return with ambiguous allusions to self-care and a collection of expertly taken photographs. Likewise, she did not appear in Key Shazam 2. Promotional activities were succeeded by a quiet, followed by a sudden outburst of retweets from activists successfully alter the topic without dealing with the original problem that we're seeing. Is resilience not a recurrent strategy? And it's becoming shabby, particularly with younger audiences who respect sincerity and responsibility. Primarily, Gen Z could be cruel. They appreciate those who own, but they are also critics. Their errors, even if they are messy or embarrassing, what they consistently disregard is vanishing as soon as heat is detected. Then, as if nothing had occurred, waltzing back in. The Met Gala was an important test, an opportunity to confront the noise directly and traverse it with some honor. By selecting avoidance over Zegler could have supported the exact story she's attempting to flee. Take into account the celebrities who have achieved success, negotiated image restoration. They didn't vanish, instead they changed in public. Belief that they accepted criticism even if implicitly demonstrated development and steadily recovered goodwill by skipping one. A well-known incident doesn't ruin a career, but establishing a reputation for disappearing whenever things get feeling uneasy conveys a concerning message to both industry leaders and enthusiasts. This goes beyond a young actress. Red carpet evasion is about the longevity of her professional path. The Zegler appeared on the scene wearing the West Side Tale, appears to be ready for long-term fame, but only after 5 years in. She is establishing a reputation that may restrict her prospects, not because to any one dispute, but due to Hollywood doesn't like the way she handles them. Demand excellence, but it is valuable dependability for producers and directors. You can rely on her to endure challenging circumstances. Will studios invest in someone in cycles, who may become extremely quiet when the present promotional push is shaky? Strategy appears to be concentrated on revising her picture instead of tackling the underlying problems that caused her harm. Repute: she won't dismiss the prince no more. She's essentially withdrawing from challenging discussions, and that strategy could have longer-term effects than anything. Perhaps a Met Gala gave rise to memes. Appearance of this particular case paper contains a more comprehensive analysis of current celebrity culture is a system in and of itself, based on meticulously crafted illusions, tactical displays, and in fact,